On the eve of our destination wedding, my fiancée's old flame suddenly returned to the country. Without a second thought, she canceled the entire trip I had meticulously planned and spent the day showing him around the city. When I expressed my displeasure, she had the audacity to let him move into our marital home. Ethan just got back and has nowhere to stay, so I let him sleep in the master bedroom. It gives me peace of mind. Besides, we're leaving tomorrow, so the room would just be empty anyway. On the day of our departure, she stood me up completely. Ethan has a bit of a fever, so I have to stay with him at the hospital. The wedding trip isn't urgent, we can go anytime. My patience had run out. I called my childhood friend directly. Victoria, want to have a destination wedding? If you do, we leave right now. I waited downstairs for Sophia Vance for over half an hour, but there was no sign of her. I made over a dozen calls. All of them went unanswered. The time we were supposed to leave had long passed. We were about to miss our flight. Disregarding her rule about people not entering her room, I went upstairs only to find it empty. Just as I was wondering what was going on, my phone rang. When I answered, a strange man's voice came through. You must be sincere. I'm Ethan Moore. She went to the restroom and didn't take her phone. I came back to the country today, and Sophia was worried about me, so she insisted on picking me up from the airport. Have her call me back, I said, cutting him off while suppressing my anger. Hello? A moment later, Sophia called. Sophia Vance, do you have any idea what day it is? I'm sorry, Ethan came back suddenly. I was in a rush to pick him up and I forgot about you. Ethan just landed, so I need to help him get settled back into life here. As for the destination wedding, let's reschedule. Before I could say another word, she hung up. A surge of fury rose within me. Remembering an important business meeting I had that afternoon, I had no choice but to head to the office and ask my assistant to postpone the trip and rearrange my work schedule. As I was dealing with some documents, Victoria Sterling pushed the door open, her tone quizzical. Clarky, why didn't you leave today? Isn't it your destination wedding? Ethan Moore is back. Sophia went to be with him. She feigned a sigh. Tisk, tisk, that's the third time she stood you up, isn't it? Why not take me instead? My bags are all packed, ready to go with you anytime. Get out of here. Stop bothering me. I rolled my eyes, exasperated. This girl was getting more and more unfiltered by the day. Just as Victoria left, Ethan Moore called. Sorry, sincere, for worrying you today. I only mentioned in passing that I was coming. I never expected to see Sophia as soon as I got off the plane. She insisted on showing me around. You don't mind, do you? I certainly mind an outsider lusting after my fiancée. Are you constantly pestering her because you're mentally disturbed and need special care? Ethan replied, well, that's a shame. Sophia insisted on taking me out and said she'd cover all the expenses. I tried to refuse several times, but she wouldn't listen. Maybe you should talk to her? Disgusted, I hung up the phone. As I was about to put my phone down, I noticed Ethan had posted on his social media feed a treat from her. The accompanying picture showed Sophia wearing gloves, a mountain of shrimp shells piled in front of her, while all the peeled shrimp were in Ethan's bowl. Sophia had liked it instantly. The more I looked, the more I seethed. I dialed Sophia's number directly. Are you still with Ethan Moore? Yes, what's wrong? What's wrong? You ditched me this morning to pick him up at the airport, took him out to eat, and peeled shrimp for him. Is that an appropriate distance for just friends? Sincere Clark, what are you implying? Sophia's voice suddenly shot up. Ethan and I have been friends for years. Why are you, a grown man, being so petty? I can't be bothered to argue with you, she snapped, then hung up. I immediately called back only to find she had blocked me. I laughed out of pure anger and instructed my assistant to freeze the supplementary card she used. An hour later, Sophia stormed into my office, furious. Sincere Clark, what gives you the right to freeze my card? You blocked me, what do you think? She was relentless. I'm warning you, unfreeze that card right now. Do you have any idea how embarrassing it was when I couldn't pay? Are you still planning on taking Ethan Moore out? Of course, I promised him. Fine. In that case, the card stays frozen. Sophia was livid. What did you say? What about my expenses? Ever since we'd started our relationship, I had covered all her living costs, and now she was shamelessly using my money to support another man, Sophia Vance. I'm the one who gave you that card. Don't you think it's a bit much to use my money on another man? It's not like you're short on cash. Sincere Clark, you're becoming more and more of a penny pincher. She argued righteously. Ethan and I go way back. He's come to my city, isn't it right for me to show him a good time? Can't he go by himself? Sophia Vance, we're about to get married, and you're still entangled with another man. Do you think that's appropriate? I stated firmly. I am not unfreezing the card. Seeing my hard stance, her eyes immediately reddened, and she gently tugged on my sleeve. Sincere, I won't take him out anymore. I promise. It was my fault for not handling it well. Please don't be angry, okay? Her wronged expression made it seem as if I were the one bullying her. Looking at the tears welling in her eyes as if possessed, I nodded. Thank you, hubby. Her goal achieved, she happily clicked away on her stilettos. Near the end of the workday, just as Victoria and I finished signing a contract, Sophia called. Sincere, I'm going camping with the girls for a bit, so I won't be back tonight. Are you really going camping with your besties? Of course. Before Sophia could finish, a familiar female voice came from the other end. Who else would it be? Are you afraid we're going to eat your fiancé or something? Hearing the laughter and teasing on the other end, I didn't think much of it and just reminded her, be safe and come back early. I hung up and found Victoria looking at me with great interest. What's wrong? The contract is signed. Why are you still here? So Clarky, you don't think your fiancé is using that as an excuse to go hang out with that Ethan guy, do you? She wouldn't. She promised me. Is it possible they took Ethan camping with them? That's even more impossible. You just can't stand to see us happy, can you? Nope. Just a reasonable suspicion. Victoria winked playfully, but her eyes were serious. Clarky, I'll be waiting for you to come to your senses. I was speechless, but when I got home, I still decided to video call Sophia. Sophia, who are you with right now? Vivian and Cassie, of course. Who else would it be? Then have them say hi to me. No problem. She panned the phone around to show everyone, and indeed, it was just her friends. Only then did I finally relax. Just as I was about to go to sleep, a social media post from Ethan Moore made my heart sink. Ethan's post had only one line of text. This custom-made Swedish mattress is amazing. So soft. Staring at that sentence, a sense of unease crept into my heart. The mattress in our master bedroom was $1 million custom order from the Swedish brand Hasens. Surely Ethan hadn't moved in? But then I reconsidered, thinking Sophia wouldn't do something so absurd. The next afternoon, Sophia called. Sincere, camping wasn't very comfortable. We're going to a hot spring resort for 2 days. We can leave for our destination wedding the day after tomorrow. Okay, I'll make the arrangements. By the way, where is Ethan Moore staying? He said he's not used to hotels, so I helped him rent a high-end villa. She answered so naturally that I dismissed my unease. All right, it's settled then. I'll go home to get my documents and meet you at the office. Seeing her show some rare enthusiasm for our wedding, I agreed. But while we were at the hot springs, her phone never left her hand. She was constantly looking down and replying to messages. I was a little suspicious, but didn't dwell on it. The next morning, as I went to call Sophia for breakfast, I heard her gentle voice through the slightly ajar door. You can stay there without worry. He won't be back for the next 2 days, and we're leaving for our trip the day after tomorrow. What if he finds out? She scoffed. Just keep it from him, and it'll be fine. My heart sank. Without alerting anyone, I drove straight home. When I stood at the villa's front door, the facial recognition failed, and the password came up as incorrect. I simply took the key from my car and opened the door myself. One look inside, however, and I froze on the spot. The villa was completely transformed. The originally luxurious and understated decor had been replaced with an over-the-top punk style. The crystal chandelier in the living room was replaced with a chaotic mess of colorful fluorescent tubes. The furniture was painted in garish colors, and the antique decorations were gone. Pushing open the master bedroom door, the blood rushed to my head. Ethan Moore was lying lazily on my bed, wearing my pajamas. To be honest, after hearing Sophia's words, I had considered the possibility that Ethan had moved in. On the way here, I kept telling myself I was overthinking it, but reality hit me like a ton of bricks. Seeing me enter, Ethan was first surprised, then angry. "Who let you into my room? Have you no respect for privacy?" I was trembling with rage. It took me a moment to force out the words. "This is my house. Do you understand the law? Get out," but his tone remained arrogant. "Sophia told me to make myself at home. This is my house now. If you trespass like this, I could have you sent to jail, you know?" Hearing his audacious words, I laughed in fury. "You just wait," I dialed Sophia's number. "Sophia, get your ass over to the new house." Now she froze for a few seconds, then started shouting self-righteously, "I just let Ethan stay for a few days. Is it really worth getting this angry over? If you weren't so petty and let me show Ethan around, I wouldn't have felt guilty and let him stay over. Besides, we're leaving for our destination wedding tomorrow. The house would be empty anyway, so what's the harm in letting Ethan stay for a few days?" Suppressing my rage, I said, "If you're not here in 10 minutes, I'm sending Ethan Moore to jail." After hanging up, I stared daggers at Ethan. He had the look of a smug little snake. "I'm telling you, Sincere Clark, even when Sophia gets here, she'll take my side. This villa is in Sophia's name. What right do you, an outsider, have to be angry? Whether you two can even get married is still up in the air. Then why don't you marry her? The Sophia you talk about is so good to you. Why won't she marry you?" Ethan came from a poor family. His parents were unemployed, and his father was a gambler. Sophia had helped him a lot with his studies abroad. I, on the other hand, was born into a wealthy family, a graduate of a top university. The choice was obvious to anyone with eyes. Sophia pursued me for 3 years, and I was so moved that I finally agreed to be with her. Having hit a nerve, Ethan's expression changed, his eyes turning vicious. "Sophia just hasn't realized her true feelings for me yet. Your destination wedding is doomed to fail." I ignored him and learned from the butler and maids. Sophia had ordered them not to tell me anything and to follow all of Ethan's instructions. Suddenly, the front door opened. Ethan grabbed a vase and smashed it against his own arm. Blood instantly gushed out. He fell to his knees, crying, "Please, stop hitting me. I'll never touch anything in the house again." With the staff standing behind me, it really did look like I was bullying him. Sophia rushed in, helped Ethan up, and sharply questioned me. "Sincere Clark, how could you bring people here to beat up Ethan?" I sneered. "I didn't even touch him, but look at what he's done to our marital home." "Ethan, why did you change the house's decor?" "Sophia, you told me to make myself at home. I thought the decorations were a bit plain, so I spruced it up a bit. It was a heartfelt gesture. It cost me a lot of money and effort, you know." Sophia turned to me with a dark expression. "Sincere, Ethan meant well. How could you lay a hand on him, apologize to him, pay for the redecorating and for his emotional distress, and we'll call it even? I'm doing this for your own good. If Ethan calls the police, you could go to jail." My disappointment was written all over my face. "Sophia Vance, did I agree to let him stay here? Did I agree to let him redecorate? There are security cameras in the villa. If the police get involved, he's the one going to jail. Since you're so biased towards him, forget about the destination wedding tomorrow. You can marry him instead." With that, I turned to leave. Sophia quickly called out, "Sincere, it's all Ethan's fault. Don't be angry, okay? I'll make him move out right now, and I'll have him change the decorations back." I looked at her and said helplessly, "This villa is tainted. I'll get a new one." "Okay, I'll listen to you. We'll sell this one and buy a new one right away." "I'll decorate it myself," Sophia cooed gently. Seeing this, Ethan shouted, "Sophia, how can you be such a pushover? Shut up, Ethan, get out of here now." Suddenly, Ethan fainted. Sophia rushed to his side. Ethan, don't scare me, Sincere. I'm taking Ethan to the hospital first. I'll see you at the airport tomorrow." She hurriedly told the driver to head for the hospital. Watching the car disappear, I thought about just ending things with Sophia right then and there. But after 3 years together, I decided to give her one last chance. The next day, I arrived at the airport on time. Sophia, however, was a no-show. I called her over a dozen times before she finally answered. All she said was, "Ethan has a persistent low-grade fever. I can't leave him alone at the hospital. We'll talk about the trip in a few days." Then she hung up. I was utterly furious. Wait for what? So I'm just supposed to take it, huh? I immediately blocked her on everything. Then I turned and made a call. "Victoria, destination wedding. You in or out?" "The plane leaves in half an hour." 15 minutes later, Victoria and I were on the plane. 2 hours later, the plane landed smoothly, and our travel concierge led us to the marriage registry office. I dangled my ID in my hand and said with a smile, "Victoria, it's not too late to back out." She squeezed my hand, her eyes shining brightly. "Sincere Clark, I've been waiting for this just after we got our marriage license." A message from Ethan came through on my phone. "You clown, I told you your little trip was doomed to fail." Without hesitation, I snapped a picture of our marriage certificate and sent it to him with the caption, "Just married. Do not disturb." Not long after I sent the message, Ethan called. I answered, and Sophia's furious roar came through the phone. "Sincere Clark, don't you go too far. I told you we'd go in a few days. How can you be so petty and block all my contacts? The reason I didn't go is because Ethan is sick. This is a matter of life and death. The wedding trip can happen anytime. How could you use a fake marriage certificate to trick Ethan? He's feeling terribly guilty now. Apologize to Ethan right now and add me back, or else you'll be sorry I spoke calmly. You're right, I should add you back. Since we've broken up, we need to settle some accounts. I bought the marital home, but it's registered in your name. My assistant will contact you shortly to handle the transfer. I'll let the money you've spent on yourself over the years slide, but every single cent you spent on Ethan Moore, you will pay back." Sophia's tone immediately softened. "Sincere, you must be joking. You told me the villa was my security, and the money I transferred to Ethan was to secure talent for the company. The Clark Corporation has a student sponsorship program every year. Don't be angry. As soon as Ethan is better, we'll leave for our trip. How does that sound?" I uttered a few words flatly. "We're broken up. Transfer the house, pay back the money, or else what? If you keep this up, I'm really going to get angry." Seeing I wouldn't budge, Sophia's true colors showed. I hung up and had my assistant handle the rest. Feeling a gaze on me, I smiled and looked back at Victoria. "Just earning some money to buy you diamonds. Thank you, hubby. I love you." A blissful smile bloomed on Victoria's face. I stood there stunned, a warm feeling spreading through my chest. We shared a smile and followed the travel concierge to the next destination. Things weren't going so smoothly for Sophia. At first, my assistant tried to reason with her, but Sophia not only refused to cooperate, but also threatened to ruin his career. So, he had no choice but to take legal action. One day, Victoria and I were having dinner at a sky-high restaurant. Sophia's calls kept coming in. "Sincere Clark, you actually sued me. The court officers showed up at my door. You need to clear this up right now." The court officer took the phone. "Mr. Clark, your claim is to repossess the villa registered under Ms. Vance's name and recover certain funds." "That's correct. She has consistently refused to return them." "You're lying. We're about to get married. That villa is our marital home. As for the transfers..." I cut her off. "We broke up a long time ago, and I'm already married to Victoria. What are you talking about? You must have just hired some woman to act the part. Ms. Vance, I'll ask you to show some respect for my wife." "All right, Sincere, just come back. We'll have a meal and this whole thing will be over." Before she could finish, the call was cut off. "Hubby, should I call back?" I squeezed Victoria's hand. "No need. My assistant doesn't earn a 7-figure salary for nothing. Is Sophia Vance brain damaged or something?" she murmured, nestled in my arms, half amused and half exasperated. I nodded. "It's not just her. Ethan Moore's condition is even worse. Let's not talk about these unpleasant things. Victoria's eyes lit up. For our next stop, how about we go to the Arctic to see the northern lights? Okay, whatever you want. My mind was in turmoil. Even though I knew what Sophia was like, we had been together for over 3 years. A sudden breakup was bound to leave me feeling a little down. Victoria noticed my low spirits and spent the whole time trying to cheer me up. Along the way, a message from Sophia arrived. If you keep this up, I'm really going to lose my temper. I ignored it. She followed up with a long string of voice messages. Fine. I was wrong, okay? I don't need an apology from you anymore, and I won't hold it against you that you called the police. Just unfreeze my supplementary card. I need to go buy a new handbag tomorrow. I admit it was my fault for not telling you beforehand, but who could have predicted that Ethan would have a persistent fever? Make the arrangements. We'll leave for our trip tomorrow. I promise I'll be there this time. Sincere Clark, why aren't you replying? Did you go mute? I've already apologized. What more do you want? Fine, have it your way. I'm not in a hurry. If you don't apologize, you can forget about getting married. Hearing her furious voice, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. At that moment, I was standing on a snowy mountain in Tromsø, Norway, watching the aurora dance across the night sky. Who cared about that toxic, two-timing woman? I should have kicked her to the curb ages ago. With my mood suddenly lifted, I looked seriously at Victoria beside me. Only then did I truly notice her delicate features, her skin as white as snow, her long legs. I had always thought of her as a little sister, but now, from a new perspective, I suddenly realized my feelings for her might be different. I couldn't help but wonder how, with such a beauty by my side, I had ever ended up with Sophia. Victoria suddenly shot me a mischievous smile. Hubby, are you plotting something wicked? I hastily looked away. Don't be ridiculous. I'm a gentleman, I'll have you know. A gentleman would stare at me for that long? If you're thinking something, just say it. She stepped closer, the smile in her eyes deepening. You're a woman. Can't you be a little more reserved? We're married. What's there to be coy about? As she spoke, my phone received a recording from Ethan. I played it, and a conversation between him and Sophia filled the air. Sophia, it's just a low fever. You don't have to stay with me. Today is the day you're supposed to leave for your wedding trip. The trip can wait. How can I possibly go anywhere when you're sick? Sophia's voice was gentle. But won't Sincere be angry if you don't go? He has the nerve to be angry? I'm already pregnant, and he's not even by my side. I'm not the one who should be angry. Sophia's voice rose. If he doesn't apologize, I'll take our child and marry someone else. The recording ended with their triumphant laughter. I had it on speaker. After listening, Victoria's expression grew tense. Sophia's pregnant? Is the baby yours? Seeing her earnest expression, I decided to tease her. Yep, you're going to be a stepmom. Happy? What's so soon? Victoria clutched the hem of her clothes tightly. If you don't want that, I can go ask her to get an abortion. Wouldn't that be too selfish? An abortion would be really damaging to Sophia's health, and it's still your child. But if you have a child together, you'll have to stay in contact forever, and I really don't want... I suddenly burst out laughing. You're so easy to fool. Sophia isn't pregnant with my child. Really? Then why would she say she was pregnant with your baby? She's out of her mind. We never even had a physical relationship. How could there be a baby? Victoria blinked in shock. You were together for over 3 years and you never... Victoria, what on earth goes through your head all day? A vein throbbed on my forehead. It's a normal concern. This is about my lifelong happiness, you know. I swept her up into my arms. Fine, then I'll just have to show you if I'm capable or not. We stayed in our cabin for a whole week. Victoria, rubbing her lower back, muttered, You're very capable. You're amazing after that. We visited many more sites. Half a month later, as we were preparing to return home, Victoria suddenly asked, Hubby, since we're married, should we move in together? Of course. How about the apartment downtown? Great, it's close to both of our offices. We're almost at your house. Let's go pack your things as soon as we reach the villa's entrance. Sophia rushed out. Sincere Clark, you have the nerve to come back? When she saw Victoria, her face instantly darkened. "Why did you bring her back?" Victoria stepped forward and kissed me. "Why can't I be here? Sincere and I are already married." Sophia looked at her with contempt and sneered. "Stop putting on a show for me, Miss Sterling. I know you two grew up together. You're just here to act for him." She suddenly placed a hand on her lower abdomen, her tone full of grievance. "Sincere, I'm pregnant with your child. I haven't been feeling well lately. I don't blame you for not being with me during this time. Let's get back together. This isn't good for anyone." I frowned and retorted, "Sophia, we never had a physical relationship. How could you possibly be pregnant with my child?" "The charity gala last month. I was drunk, you took me home, and you even changed my clothes. And I used a pregnancy test from the first aid kit. 2 lines. I tugged at the corner of my mouth, speechless. You threw up all over me that night. I had a maid come and change your clothes. There are no pregnancy tests in the first aid kit. There are, however, the COVID tests I had the maids buy. You're positive, but not for pregnancy. You've got COVID. I'm already married to Victoria. Don't disturb our lives anymore. Impossible." Sophia shook her head violently. "You love me so much, how could you marry someone else?" Victoria pulled out our marriage certificate and shoved it in her face. "Look closely. We are legally married, recognized by the state." Sophia stared at the red certificate, standing frozen in shock. "Sincere Clark, how could you really marry someone else? What if I did? You were constantly involved with Ethan Moore. You let him stay in the master bedroom of our marital home, and you stood me up for every single one of our wedding trips. Victoria is better than you in every way, looks, talent, family background. They all far exceed yours. And most importantly, she is completely devoted to me." Victoria chimed in. "If you don't cherish a great man like Clarky, plenty of others will." Sophia's face turned deathly pale. Just as she was about to speak, Ethan ran up, panting. "Sophia, why didn't you answer my calls? You had me so worried." Sophia finally snapped. "Why should I answer your calls? Sophia, why are you so agitated? You're the one who said I could call you any time." "I never said that. Don't you dare slander me. I said you could only call if it was important." Sophia hurriedly tried to explain to me. "Sincere, I swear, Ethan and I never crossed any lines." I said coolly, "I don't care about your affairs, but you have to move out of this villa today. And the money, don't forget to pay it back." Ethan said snidely, "Sincere, how can you be so heartless?" "Sophia is carrying your child and you, miss," he said, turning to Victoria. "Don't be fooled by a wolf in sheep's clothing. He's already got a child on the way." Victoria chuckled. "I know everything you're saying. But Sophia isn't pregnant." Watching Sophia and Ethan's faces turn ashen, I instructed the maids to pack my things. "Are you two not leaving? Do I have to have you thrown out? Sincere, do we really have to end up like this? We were so in love. We had it all planned, our destination wedding. How could you be so cruel as to abandon me and marry someone else? Get lost. Stop with the melodrama." Ethan stepped forward and put an arm around Sophia. "Forget it, Sophia. Sincere Clark is too heartless, marrying someone else just like that. I'm the only one who's truly sincere with you. No matter what, I will never abandon you." I sneered and handed her my phone. "He's sincere with you? Take a look at these chat logs. Then you'll know what kind of schemes Ethan has been up to behind your back." Sophia took the phone. After scanning the chat history, she shot a stunned, incredulous glare at Ethan. Ethan, however, feigned confusion. "Sophia, don't believe him. He forged all of that." Sophia slapped Ethan hard across the face. "Ethan Moore, do you take me for a fool? I helped you out of respect for our past, but I never thought you were just trying to drive a wedge between us from the very beginning." Ethan, with nothing left to lose, went all in. "I only did it to help you see the truth. You care about me the most. Yet you force yourself to marry Sincere Clark, who asked you to meddle. The only person I want to marry is Sincere. He's the only one I love." Sophia was heaving with rage, her nails digging deep into her palms. "Enough, I blocked the doorway. If you want to fight, go do it somewhere else." Don't make a scene at my front door." Victoria spoke with an impatient look on her face. "I've had enough of you two. Someone get these two out of here." Security guards quickly moved in, grabbing them and dragging them out. Just then, Ethan spat at me. "Sincere Clark, you just wait." Victoria shook her head, exasperated. "That man is genuinely unhinged. Let's not waste our time on trash. Come on, let's go move your things." But Sophia wasn't about to give up. She relentlessly texted and called me from new numbers, even ambushing me at the company entrance. I was beyond annoyed and had my assistant pressure her to pay back the money. She became so preoccupied with borrowing money that she finally stopped harassing me. The financial stress also led to a massive public falling out with Ethan. I even saw a video online of them screaming at each other. I thought that would be the end of it, but 3 days later, Sophia started a live stream to accuse me. She sobbed to the camera, "Sincere Clark, CEO of Clark Corporation, is a heartless monster. He abandoned me, his pregnant fiancée, for another woman. He's restricting my freedom. He's been abusive." Instantly, a wave of condemnation against me swept the internet, and the company's stock price was affected. Just then, our company's firewall came under attack. The IT department responded quickly and traced the IP address back to Ethan Moore. I suddenly remembered that Ethan had studied computer science abroad and couldn't help but marvel at how incompetent he was. "Call the police," I said calmly. "Slander, public manipulation, and corporate espionage. That should be enough to put them away." On the day of the trial, only Sophia was in the defendant's dock. Ethan had already fled the country, leaving a trail of evidence that pinned all the blame on her. In the end, Sophia was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Before being taken away, Sophia cursed at me. "Sincere Clark, I hope you die, a horrible death." Victoria took my hand. "Let's go. Don't listen to a mad dog barking." After entering prison, Sophia's arrogant attitude got her into a fight that left her with a broken spine. She would spend the rest of her life paralyzed in a bed. Later, I heard that Ethan had gotten involved with a wealthy older woman with some very particular tastes. He was reportedly covered in injuries day after day, and eventually the woman's husband had him sent off to a black site in some lawless corner of the globe, where he met a grisly end. In the blink of an eye, 3 years have passed since Victoria and I got married. We now have an adorable pair of fraternal twins. On the entryway cabinet sits our family portrait, taken at our new island villa. My son runs over and tugs on my sleeve. "Daddy, can we go to the zoo to see the pandas tomorrow?" I smile and nod in agreement. The sun is shining brightly outside, filling the entire room with light. Victoria is helping our daughter change the clothes on her doll. I walk over to them with a plate of cut fruit and ask gently, "How about we eat out today?" "Okay." Victoria turns and kisses me on the cheek. In that moment, my heart is full of happiness and contentment.